Okay, hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I should appreciate you spending time with me. Today we're going to do another tutorial, and that tutorial is going to be Grammar Police for LSPDFR. So go ahead and open your main game directory or root directory to Grand Theft Auto, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, Grand Theft Auto 5. And we're going to install Grammar Police. Now, when you click on the link, this is what it's going to bring you to: LSPDFR Grammar Police 1.6. If you scroll down a little bit, a little explanation, little video of exactly what it is and what it does. By now, everybody knows that it lets you talk back and forth to dispatch. Even though her responses are a lot generic, you can still pretty much understand each other. So if you download it WinRAR and OpenIV, by the way, you're gonna, or Open4, as some people call it, Open4, OpenIV, it's still the same thing. Go ahead and open your WinRAR. I've already downloaded, so I already close that purchase. I already have it downloaded. Make sure you have plenty of space. Nothing is highlighted. Make sure you have no folders highlighted. Go ahead and open Grammar Police. Open Grammar Police again. Grand Theft Auto. And you're going to click on LSPDFR to highlight it. Hold down Control. Highlight plugins and highlight IPT common.dll. Do not bring in the Rage Native. Do not. Especially if you've recently downloaded it, because this is an older version. It will crash your game. You only want those 3 files, okay? Highlight. Boom. Drag and drop. Now we have Grammar Police installed. Okay, and one more thing we need to do. We're going to minimize that and go into our OpenIV. And move that over a little bit. Okay, and you're going to back up 1 in WinRAR and go to Textures. Now these 2 textures here are for the radio. We need to drag and drop them into our OpenIV. Okay, so for the very first time, if you have it open, you're going to do this. Let's see, we're going to follow. Let me open the README text. You're going to follow this pathway. Mods times 64, C, levels, Grand Theft Auto 5, props, LevDes, the minigame.rpf, and that's where we're going to drop this one, and we're going to drop this one. Okay, all right, so first one is mods times 64, whoops, times 64C, levels, Grand Theft Auto 5. And let's double check. Props. And then LevDes. And then the next one was the minigame.rpf. Okay, and this is where we need to drop. We can close that now. These 2 files. So you're going to highlight one. Left control the other one. Make sure you have edit mode enabled. Go to the top, click edit mode, and you'll see copy to mods folder. One more thing, you can go ahead and click on this now or wait a second. Either way, you're going to have to click on the button to the left. You're going to see 2 buttons. Make sure you click on the button to the left. And also make sure you go into Tools, Click on your ASI manager. Make sure everything is green. If you have anything that's blue, make sure you install it. See, all of mine are green. Make sure all of these are green. If it's blue, click on install to change everything to green. Okay, now once you've done that, copy the mods folder and highlight both of those and drag and drop. And now they're in. All it was an improved radio texture. That's all it was, okay? Now you have that done. Close that, and let's go back into our main game directory or root directory, whichever you prefer. You're going to click on plugins once you're there, LSPDFR, and now you see Grammar Police. Okay, yours should look exactly like this. You'll see a single default page with the little sprocket or cog or whatever it is down there on it. You're going to highlight and copy it. Make a copy of it and paste it. That way it looks just like this. Now that default with copy next to it, go ahead and rename that custom, lowercase letters, custom. Because you don't want to, let's go ahead and open it and I'll show you what you don't want to do. At the top it says do not edit this file. So you don't want to edit that one, you want to edit the custom one. Okay, so go ahead and open that one. Once you have it open, I want you to left click right there next to the bracket where it says general. Left click. And you're going to backspace until all of that stuff is gone. Make it disappear. Just like that. Okay. Go to the top under file, click save, never save as, click save. Okay, you're going to go ahead and we're going to make some changes to a couple of these. We're going to leave the same, a couple we're going to change. Whatever your call sign is, if you've been playing the game already, whatever your call sign is, you can go ahead and change that. If you want it to be 444, if you want it to be 1 Adam 12, if you want it to be 12 Sam 63, whatever you want your call sign to be inside the brackets, you're going to change that. Now, this is the generic version. I have just recently had to reinstall everything, so I already have copies. I have my copies down here at the bottom of everything. So what I'm going to do is going to reload my copies, and then we'll go over what you want to change. Okay, make sure nothing's highlighted. Minimize that back. Custom. Copy. And paste and replace. Okay, I'm going to close that because we do have one more set of things. They're called actions and commands, but we'll get to those in a second. Right now, you should already have the custom folder open. As you can see, everything's already erased at the top, and my call sign, if you've been watching my videos, my call sign is already at the top. Like I said, you can make that whatever you want. On your language, make sure you have it set to whatever you want, and make sure your computer matches that language. If it's United States English, make sure your computer says United States English. Whatever you want to do, okay? You can go into settings, time and language, language and region right here. And this is where you would change Oh, and by the way, I'm working off of Windows 11. So you would change whatever language you want to make it. Okay, the next underneath that is generic. Underneath that, enable speech recognition. Make sure that says true. Dispatch key, R menu, which is R dispatch key equals R menu, which equals your right Alt key. So what you're going to be doing inside the game is pressing and holding your right Alt key, and that'll key up a simulated mic for dispatch as if you were inside the actual police car. Okay, underneath that, interface key. Now, some of these are set to my custom, what's comfortable for me. You may have other things you have installed, and you're using F3. Originally, this was F2. So if you're inside the game and you hit left control F2, it would open the menu. Now come down a little bit more. You have F2, settings modifier, left control, radio key C, radio modifier set to none, hotkey modifier, left control, which, like again, I said, left control F2 or left control F3, whichever one you want to have it to. Busy key is none, clear key is none, no key is none. All of these should stay to none. The very next section, buttons, all of those should stay to none. The next section, display, show notifications and show your player status. If you've been paying attention to pretty much anybody's videos, at the bottom they have a player status. It says status in orange letters, and that's the player status. You want to set that to true. Make sure it says true. Show target plate, we want that true. Now the status line, those words, status, position, you can put that anywhere on the screen where you want it just by manipulating the XYZ scale. Okay, and that's these set of numbers right here. I have mine. If you've watched my videos, it's over on the left side of the screen where player, location, zip code, all that stuff is. But these are the settings that are comfortable for me. X385, Y1041, scale 0.52. And you can manipulate that inside the game by going left control F2 or left control F3, left control F4, whichever one you have it changed at the top, whichever one you have it set to. Now the radio, the little handheld on-screen radio, X, Y, Z position of it. If you want it on the left side of your screen, you want it on the right side of your screen, you want it at the top, you want it at the bottom. This, you can manipulate these numbers and that'll change it. Also, when you're inside the game and you manipulate these numbers, you can actually see these things moving as you're manipulating the numbers, so that'll help you get it to where you want it. So radio position X, 1680. And by the way, I have it, the handheld radio is set to the right side, the right hand side of my screen, because I don't want it in the way of anything else over on the left. X position 1680, Y position 450, Z is 70. Radio auto close should be set to true, where it automatically closes itself and leaves the screen. Next section, push to talk. Your microphone, push to talk or hold to talk. Hold to talk, true. Hold to talk delay, about 250 milliseconds. is about average. Push to talk sound, the sound that a radio mic makes when it's keyed up, and releasing it also, the sound. These are what were comfortable for me. Now you can have it 5 and 5, or 4 and 4, or 3 and 6. But for right now, you can set it to these if you want. And again, change it when you're inside the game. Left control F, or left control 3, or left control F4, whichever one you want to have it to. Preface response 2. Show in-car animation set to true. Immersion. Attempt to initiate pursuit, change that to false. Enable jail waypoint, set to true. If you've watched my videos and I've say 5010 station 1, and it shows the little waypoint to get to the jail in purple. Now by default, if you hit 0, it'll be yellow. It'll have a yellow line on the map showing you how to get to the jail or station. And let's see, where were we? Enable priority tone, set that to false. Enable auto priority tone, set that to false. Enable traffic stop, false. Handle availability, set that to true. Handle death, set that to true. Officer check intervals. Now if you want dispatch to check on you in 1 minute, in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes, however you think you would average a time of being out on a traffic stop or out on a scene. I don't want her checking on me, so I have mine set to 0. You can have it 5 minutes, 2 minutes if you want. Average traffic stop, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes if you want her to call your radio numbers and check on you. You can change that number. Priority tone interval, 30 seconds. Use generic responses, set that to true. Panic response, the next section is going to be backup. Panic response, 5 units. Traffic control radius, about 60, I guess that meters, 60 feet wouldn't be that very far. Let's see, traffic control speed set to 5. Offer backup air, false. Offer backup investigating, false. Offer backup scene, false. All the rest of these should be set to false. Next section, pit. Pit surrender rate 75, 20. The next one, max peds 1. The next one, 20 and 1. Next section, pursuit. False, 50, 5, 50, 5, and 0. Again, that last one is a dispatch checking on you interval. Okay, the next section, use native. Air, false. Code 2, false. Code 3, false. EMS, false. Panic, false. Ped check. You do want to be able to make ped checks and plate checks. So set those 2 to true. Those should be the only things set to true. And the last one, advanced. Disable menu mouse true. Babble timeout 2000, 2000, 1500, and 0. And that is it. That is it. And once you've made any changes, of course, as always, file and then save. Never save as, always save. And by all means, make yourself a copy on your desktop. Make yourself a copy on your desktop. Make yourself a copy of it on your desktop. Okay, after that, you're going to go into grammar. Click on grammar right above it, and then click on generic. Generic is the one that I use. Some people use immersive, some people use California, but they all have these inside of them. Custom actions and commands, default actions and commands. Whether you use California, whether you use generic, whether you use immersive. I use generic, so click on generic. You're going to click on custom. Actions and commands should be empty. They both should be empty. Now again, just like the other folder on the outside, these two, the default one, you don't want to make changes to. Let's go ahead and go back inside. This default one has all the default stuff speaking to dispatch. These are all the default codes, languages, short terms, and speaking to dispatch. Let's go ahead and open one and I'll show you what it, just like available status 10.8 if you're using 10 code. Okay. That's what it looks like on the inside. Now again, you don't want to make any changes to default. So we're going to go ahead and get our actions and our commands. We're going to get those two filled with the exact same thing that's in default. Okay. So what you're going to do is open default and get it ready. Okay, open default, go to customs, and then highlight everything in customs, or you can just click select all, however you want to do it. Highlight everything and copy everything in default actions. Everything. You got to make a copy of everything in default actions. Okay, you're going to go back to custom actions. Now remember, it's empty, so you're going to click and paste. Okay, now we have a copy of everything that was in default actions. Now we're going to go back to default commands and do the exact same thing. Default commands this time. Copy of everything from default commands. Go to custom commands and paste. Now they look exactly identical. These two, remember before this one was empty. Now they look exactly alike on the inside. And what you can do and what you want to make sure you do when you're speaking into your mic, make sure your mic is enabled. Go to your computer settings, sound. Now output is what is coming out of your computer, what you're going to be hearing. Whether you have headphones, whether you have speakers, whether you have wireless speakers or wireless headphones. Output is what's coming out. Input is your mics. Whether you have a Razer mic, whether you have your own, the extended mic with the boom, that's where that's going to be. Make sure it's enabled and you have the correct one enabled to be able to speak with dispatch, and that'll be in your settings. Okay, now these, make sure you're in the, whenever you want to make changes, make sure you are in the custom folder, never the default custom actions. And by the way, in one of my other videos, I advised to download Notepad++. Notepad++, so that you can make adjustments to these if you want to. Okay, I already have all of my copies to actions and commands. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and repaste these. Okay, bear with me real quick while I get everything back. Copy actions. Come over to custom actions and paste. Okay, now I'm gonna open one of them to just to give you an example. Let's say tow truck. Oops. Not the one I wanted. I wanted Notepad++. So you're gonna right click on it. I wanna show you what Notepad++ looks like when you're gonna make changes to it. Right click, go to open with, select Notepad++, and it'll come up like this. Okay. Now the request is for a tow truck. You can copy one of these from bracket to bracket, opening bracket to closing bracket. Right click on it, copy it, come down to the end, the very last one. You're going to hit enter, and then you're going to paste what you just copied. You're going to paste it right there. Now this is the one you copied, and we pasted it at the end, but we want to change it. So instead of saying tow truck or hook or wrecker, I don't know, what's another, this probably was we probably should have used a different example. What's another term for a tow truck? We've got tow truck, wrecker. Oh, you know what? What if you wanted to say record truck? You could say 5010, send a record truck, and dispatch will send you a record truck, which is the tow truck. And then after that, you'll need to specify the small one, the medium one, or I think it's the large or extra large. And then once you have it changed to what you want it changed to, come up to File again, Save, never save as, it's always going to be save. And that'll be an extra term that you can use speaking into your mic, speaking to dispatch, that she'll understand. And again, these are actions, performing actions like a traffic stop, a tow truck, arriving on scene, going to a call. Let's do person injured. Right click, go to open with, Notepad++, and that'll pull up person injured terms. Okay. You could say over the mic 5010, person down, 5010 down, 5010 injured, 5010 suspect down. There's person down right there, which what I was reading. 5010 civilian down, 5010 person injured. And I'm going to show you another example of how to add something that you've thought of And while you're doing these, you want to be short and brief as possible. Okay, start there, highlight from open bracket to close bracket. Make sure it's highlight. Right click, copy, go to the very last one. As a matter of fact, you don't have to go to the last one. You can put it right here if you want. Just hit enter, so you'll have a space to paste what you just copied. Paste inside the brackets where only the wording is. That's what we want to change. And we're going to say, let's see, instead of civilian down, instead of person down, let's say man down. Okay. You could say man down. Now that might not go too well if it's a woman. So, let's say fleeing suspect down. A better one would probably be running. I think dispatch would understand running. You know what? I'm sorry. Bear with me, everybody. How about shooting suspect down? As if you're in a shootout and you hit him, hey, shooting suspect down. Okay, and go back up to file and save. Never save as, always save. 5010, shooting suspect down, and she'll acknowledge that. But again, you do want to be as short and specific as possible. After all, it is a program, a piece of software. It's not an actual person that'll actually understand you. So you, with these, anything that you're changing, you want to be short and specific, as if you were speaking or trying to convey something across to something that you know that would not understand you. And you're trying to dumb it down or make it as simple as possible as you possibly can. Let's see. Let's take a look real quick, see what they have in the K9. I've never changed K9 because I haven't used the K9 yet. See in here how they don't have the letter K and the number 9. This is just specifying that K9 is a dog request. But in here, what you're actually going to be saying, it's not just the letter K or the number 9, because dispatch won't understand that. You have to speak to the software in a, like I say, a very basic, very, very dumbed down version. You can even say, let's go ahead and make a copy of it right quick. We'll do one more example. Highlight from beginning bracket to end bracket. At the end of any one of these, hit enter and paste. Let's go ahead and say 5010 dog unit. Or, as a matter of fact, copy. We'll do one more and we'll go on to the next thing. You could even say dog. Or 5010. Oh, send a dog is already in there. Send dog. Either one of those you want, dog or send dog. 1 Adam 12, dog. Dispatcher will come back with a response and send you the dog. Okay? And save. Okay, now we've made our copies of actions. We've made our copies of command. I need to put my if you do have your saved copies one day and you, for whatever reason, you have to revert, re-download Grand Theft Auto again, start all over from the beginning, whatever the case may be, you can put these. This is how you would put everything back. Copies of my command, copy, and paste and replace. Now everything that I had saved, all the verbiage that I had saved, I didn't lose and had to start all over again. I just put it back in there, and that's pretty much, that's it. That's Grammar Police. Oh, you know what? One more thing we need to change. One more thing. Well, you know what? Let me double check. I don't want to shortchange, leave you without any. And you would do the same thing if you do California or Immersive, whichever one of these three that you want to use. You would do the same thing. You would go inside California. Obviously, custom actions and commands is empty. But if you want to use California verbiage, you go into default, go into actions, highlight everything, go into customs actions and paste everything there. Because when there's an update, that's where everything is going to change. Or if you yourself want to change anything, you would make the changes here. These are the default ones for the game, and you don't want to ever mess those up. And the same would go for Immersive. But as for this one, we're going to use generic. So we've got all of that changed. We've got our folder on the outside or our INI file on the outside changed, so you are good to go. And like I said, once you go inside the game, you can change your status and radio play, your display wherever you want it to, okay? And that was it for the Grammar Police tutorial. I sure do appreciate you spending time with me. Please like and subscribe. Our next tutorial is going to be, right now so far we have Stop the Pad and Grammar Police. Next one we'll go ahead and do the call out interface. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do call out interface, because with Grammar Police you have the status display down at the bottom of the screen, and so we're going to do call out interface so that we can get the postal codes and the player location display, so we can get all of that on screen, and you don't have to worry about finding it anymore. So, or trying to search for. So the very next video will be call out interface tutorial. Okay, everybody, have a good day. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next video.